Good afternoon, everyone. Live from Silicon Valley, California. This is Success Sadhana. My name is JM, and I welcome you all to a program today where we'll discuss recipe for resilience. As you know, Vaish, he's on a 2-week trip to Japan. He'll be reaching back to Bay Area next week. But he has encouraged us to continue to meet and continue to keep the transcendental vibration going. So thank you, everyone, for joining today so that we can encourage each other. Thanks, Sarnagata. Thanks, Shweka, for joining. So in the spirit of Vaish's advice, we will continue to meet and we'll review some of his past materials on this topic, and then discuss and maybe share some of our reflections and realizations. And I will learn from each other today. So with that, let's maybe take a few minutes to get centered through some short meditation session before we get started. So if you can, please sit a little straight than a few minutes ago, and close your eyes, please. And then please breathe. Breathe a little deeper than usual. And focus on your breath. As you inhale, focus the breath coming in. And you exhale, focus on the breath going out. And try to relax. Please forget all your responsibilities for a few minutes. Just try to be present. And be thankful for this opportunity. And let's utilize the most important asset we have, the power of our attention, to relax the whole body. As you inhale and exhale, direct your attention to your feet and ask it to relax. Notice that when you say feet relax, all the muscles, the stress on the feet goes away. Ask your legs to relax. Ask the stomach, your arms to relax. Ask your shoulders, your neck to relax. Ask your cheek, your eyes, your eyebrows to relax. As it relaxes, all the muscles become stress-free. Ask your forehead, your head to relax. Keep taking deep breath in and deep breath out. Now we'll do some mantra meditation. We'll do the Om mantra. And as you chant the Om mantra, please feel the vibration. So we'll take deep breath in and we'll chant Om. So let's take deep breath in. 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 Feel the vibration in the heart region, on your face, and be grateful for this opportunity today to meditate. Slowly rub your hands, open your eyes, and please come back to the Zoom room. Thank you, everyone, for joining me in the meditation session today. Thank you, Charles, for joining back. I'm happy to have you. Thank you, Paresh, Ritesh, S. Krishnamurti, and SL. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. So we'll end up. Thanks, P. So Yun, for joining as well. So thank you. So now let's get started. So I have few slides and maybe a couple of short videos that will play related to this topic, and then we'll discuss as we go along. I was just mentioning to everyone before we started that, as you know, Vaish is on a 2-week trip to Japan. He's expected to be back next week. But meanwhile, he has encouraged us to continue to meet and keep the transcendental vibration going. So thank you, all of you, for joining so that we can encourage each other. And so let me share my screen and let me know if you're able to see my screen. Okay. So before we start, I do want to thank all the spiritual teachers, including Vaish, who have kindly shared selflessly all the knowledge they've attained, the spiritual knowledge, because of which we are able to keep some sanity in our, at least I'm able to keep some sanity in my life, and we have the opportunity to discuss today. So I want to thank them all. And whatever we'll discuss today, I'm just going to present what Vaish and others have shared. So everything is what they have already told. So nothing is from me as such. It's just I'm repeating what they have already shared. And in case there are any faults in this discussion presentation, then that fault is mine because I'm still learning. But so please, apologies in advance, and thank you for bearing with me as we discuss this. And one of the first fault is the flyer which was sent out today morning. It had a picture which I just wanted to get some picture from the web to indicate resilience, and that picture came up. So I just put it on the flyer. And I was told that was not the right appropriate image. It was, I think, that person is not has some background which is not good. So I have replaced the image, but so apologies for that. So that's my first fault. I just wanted to put that out, that it was pointed out and it has been removed. So with that, let's take a look at what the definition of resilience is. Resilience, it comes from 1620s. Act of rebounding is the meaning, which is from a Latin word, resilience or resiliere, to rebound or recoil, which is made up of two parts. Re, which is back, and salere means to jump, so come back, to recoil. Like how if you press a spring, it comes back to its original form. So getting back to your original form. And one of the interesting things I found in the definition was act of rebounding or springing back, often of immaterial things. So generally it's metaphysical, it's immaterial things which help you to rebound. That's what is mentioned in the definition. And the American Psychological Association defines resilience as the process of adapting well within the face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, threats, or even significant source of stress. So that's the definition. So I came across a video which I was quite inspired by. Many of you might already know her, Amy Purdy. She had a very inspiring background. So I thought maybe we can play that video and then discuss some of the aspects of the challenges she faced and how she overcame those. I'm not sure if I shared with my sound, so let me just quickly stop sharing and reshare just to be sure the sound is also going to be available. Let me know if you don't hear the sound. So I'm hoping the presentation screen you can see.
If you were watching Dancing with the Stars tonight, you saw her. She's the contestant who's had to overcome so much, not only to get to the dance floor, but also simply to move around on it. But as you're about to see, very little can hold back a force of nature like Amy Purdy. And ABC's David Wright takes us behind the scenes.
This is what makes life divine.
Tonight on ABC's Dancing with the Stars, a Cinderella story.
The key to all heaven.
This year's sentimental favorite, Amy Purdy, dancing a waltz.
My heart has wings.
I absolutely love the dance that we're doing this week. It's kind of a girl's dream come true.
You have to look closely to know she's had to overcome more challenges than any other contestant in 18 seasons of Dancing with the Stars.
So trying to be graceful when it goes heel toe like that is a little challenging, but we figured out staying low and kind of staying on my toes a little bit more.
Purdy is a double amputee.
Having two prosthetic legs is a challenge because it's kind of like I'm on stilts. I'm on one piece of carbon fiber.
But that's never stopped her. On the slopes at Sochi, she won a bronze medal for snowboarding in this year's Paralympic Games.
Which is harder, the competition for one of those medals in Sochi or the competition for the mirror ball?
Gosh, you know, they're both so challenging.
Her competition on the dance floor, an Olympic champion. Meryl Davis took the gold for ice dancing.
Is it fair to pit you against an Olympic ice dancer?
No.
On the dance floor, she not only has to summon the power and control, but grace as well.
My heart has wings.
And rhythm.
The human foot has bones and muscles and can balance back and forth. If you step and you maybe make a little mistake, your foot can compensate. But if I step in the wrong spot, my foot isn't going to compensate.
Those impossibly pointy feet weren't even made for dancing.
I hope this isn't too rude to put it this way, but it looks like they're Barbie feet.
Yeah.
They don't look like they could stand upright naturally.
I know. I read an article today that said she's part transformer, part mannequin. Yeah, half robot, half woman. And I just started playing around with it. I'm like, I'm a fembot.
They don't make prosthetic limbs for ballet or ballroom dancing. Purdy has had to improvise.
We really wanted these beautiful lines like a ballerina. I actually went with a swimming foot that isn't even made for dancing. It's made for swimming, so you could put a flipper on. But we found that I could stand up on them, balance on them, and get the lines that we wanted.
The choreography not just playing to her strengths, but disguising her weakness.
That's what I'm here for. I got you. I'll be her wall. I'll be her bar. I'll be her support. You know what I mean?
But the trick is just to make it look elegant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Purdy was 19 when she lost her legs and her kidney function after contracting bacterial meningitis.
We have no idea how I got it, but within 24 hours of my first flu-like symptom, I was in the hospital, I was on life support, I was given less than a 2% chance of living, and I ended up losing both of my legs because my body went into septic shock, and that's also why I lost my kidney function.
Her dad gave her a kidney and helped her get back on her feet.
I remember standing up in my legs for the first time, and they were so painful and really confining. They didn't move, and I thought, how am I going to walk in these? How am I going to run? How am I going to do all the stuff that I love to do?
Home from the hospital, she got carried away by a song.
Can't believe it. Andy is dancing before she is walking.
A father-daughter dance like no other.
Very good.
A story she and her partner Derek Huff reenacted in the third week of Dancing with the Stars.
I can hold my breath.
What I love so much about the contemporary dance that we did was that people got to see more of my story and see who helped me through this journey, but also feel empowered by it. And that's what that dance was about. It wasn't to just make people sad, it was to show that like you can be kind of in the depths of despair and then find your way to the top and express that.
A thing of beauty born from the pain of starting over. Her father wasn't the only person in tears.
There won't be a dry eye in the country tonight.
Just seeing him, tears rolling down his face, saying, how proud of her he was. It was just an absolute honor and privilege to have been able to have the opportunity to be a part of that.
Hi, ex-swinger.
Purdy says the point for her is to rise above the concept of disability altogether.
It's all about perspective, and it's all about how we look at ourselves. And I've never looked at myself as if I've lost anything. If anything, I've gained.
Whether she's dancing the cha-cha or salsa or even the waltz,
And I can fly.
there's always a little magic involved.
Having prosthetic legs, they move in a way that are not graceful. And I feel like if I can accomplish grace on these legs, then I'm already a winner. It's like freedom.
Cinderella herself, dancing in those glass slippers, couldn't do any better. I'm David Wright for Nightline in Los Angeles.
Maybe quite a few of you might have known her story, but I just got to know recently. So I thought I will just maybe take some reflections. If you already know, what did you like, or what did you take away from a story, or if you saw it for the first time, what stood out? Anything, you can maybe put it on a chat box, or maybe just unmute yourself and just share.
I think in this adversity also people can achieve a lot of things, and sometimes we fail to look at what we have and tend to make excuse or reasons for not achieving certain things. And some people make out of those adversities also, if there is enough determination and willpower, there is nothing can stop. That's what I get it.
Yeah, thanks, Farish. Thanks for sharing that. You are absolutely right. When we are faced with challenges, are we looking for excuses? Like why me? Why did this happen to me? Others, they don't have this, but why? So we can go down that track, or as you mentioned, count our blessings, what we have, and how can we count those blessings, stay positive, and overcome those challenges. So that's a choice we are presented, and future is determined by what choice we make. Absolutely right. Thank you so much, Paresh, for sharing that. Yeah, Manu, please go ahead.
Yeah, I think it was a wonderful video. And then what I liked was like she was grateful for what she had, and she it didn't stop her from, because she was grateful, she was not succumbed by the emotions of, what we don't have. So yeah, that was very positive.
Yes, being grateful is, I think, as I mentioned, the most critical ingredient, if not maybe one of the most critical ingredient, if not the most critical ingredient, where if you start counting your blessings or everything that you have, it will never end. There are so many things that we have, and then we'll not have time for looking at all the negatives in our lives, and we can rise to the challenge. So absolutely right. Thank you, Manu. Thank you for sharing that. SL, please go ahead.
Yeah, this is Shubha. I had joined after many days And it is so wonderful to come back. JM, nice to see you.
Same here.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for joining back today.
Yes, yes. We've been through a lot in the last few months, so I really didn't have the time to join, as I was dealing with a lot of different things. But I'm hoping that at least as time allows, I can participate. I do watch the videos though, so even if I don't join, I make it a point to go and watch as many as I can.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yes, those are very, very helpful. Please keep them posted. I thank you every time I click on one of those links. You know what so some of you know this. I have two boys, and they're both Boy Scouts, and you know what their motto is: do the best with what you have. And I think it's such a simple thing, but also such an important thing. And if I look back at my life, I feel like I've had numerous challenges that I've overcome, and I think that's true of probably many of our lives. And if you just shift your perspective from when you're going through a challenge, from the fact that it's a challenge to, hey, it's actually an opportunity for me to rise up and be better than I would have been otherwise, then it really opens up a lot of, it actually removes your own handicaps that we put on ourselves, our own restrictions, and it opens up the opportunity to actually accomplish more than we ourselves thought we were capable of on our own. So, I really wonder if she hadn't had the issue with her prosthetics, would she actually have been on Dancing with the Stars? Would she actually have been in the Paralympics? And I don't know the answer to that, but I do think that challenges actually end up shaping and reshaping us. And if I look back in my life, I often find that my period as personally of the deepest, greatest, and largest growth in me have always come from my challenges, not so much from my success as they've come from my challenges.
Oh, thank you so much, Shiva. I'm so happy that you're back. You're so articulate, giving such rich wisdom so expertly. And you are right. That question was posed to her, and she did answer. I do have a couple of slides on that later. But you are right. If these challenge had not come to her, what would she have been? Not definitely what she has accomplished. So yeah, thank you for bringing that point. Yeah, Charles, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to tie in something from a video that I watched yesterday, and basically it talked about like we're always telling ourselves like stories about like the world and then ourselves in the world, and it's important to like refine the stories that we tell ourselves. Oftentimes, the stories that we tell ourselves are focused on negative aspects of things, so it's important to be conscious of that and sort of refine that. And I think it relates here because to me it appeared that although she was going through a very adverse situation, she remained very positive, and it seemed that she, must have been telling herself very positive stories about what could be at the end of the tunnel, that there could be light, and remained very conscious of the possibilities. Yeah, it seems like ultimately she was able to manifest a lot of that with her success with Dancing with the Stars, and I'm sure other things as well.
Thanks so much, Charles. That's such an important point. What do we hear, and what do we tell, or what do we allow our mind to tell us? Those stories, that's so important. That determines what positive or negative perspective and attitude we build, and how we take forward. And you're right. Actually, you maybe are a stargazer or at least future gazer. you are leading me to next couple of slides where she did she did, those questions did come to mind, and she did tell the story of how she responded to those which came her mind. She went through, I mean, she didn't become what she has without going through that challenges and overcoming them. So you're absolutely right. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, and full disclosure, I haven't seen the slides yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I know you have not seen because yeah, thanks, Charles. Wonderful. We do have Krishnamurti who says you cannot control what life gives you, but you definitely have control over how you react to them. Absolutely. That's lovely. Krishnamurti, thank you for sharing that. How we can respond to what comes forward is what is in our control. And Peace so and says our mindset is so powerful, shifting from being the victim of circumstances to owning what we are dealt with. Yeah, it's all about how we make our mind a friend or a foe. So depending on, as rightly said, like, do we say why me, or do we take that, own it, and respond to it as Amy has done? That makes all the difference. So yeah, thanks. So I'm hoping I'm pronouncing the name right. That's wonderful. Oh, thank you so much for participating today. That was nice. We'll go through the next few slides and see what did Amy do. Oh, Polly, thanks. Polly, thanks for clarifying. That's helpful. So yeah, what did Amy do when she was posed that question or challenge in her life? Let's go through a few more slides and let me know if you're able to see my slides. So what was Amy's recipe to build resilience in her life? So one of the questions Amy was asked was, how did you do what you did? Because everyone, of course, is inspired, and everyone knows like what challenge was posed in front of her was kind of almost impossible to overcome, right? It was beyond most of the humans might overcome. So they are all curious, like, you achieved what she achieved. She is a two-time Olympic medalist, first woman Olympic medalist for snowboarding. She won it 2 times. She has, I think, won several world championship para medal also. She was second runner-up in the dance competition, national dance competition. So, and several others. So she has achieved so much despite not having 2 legs. She didn't have kidneys. Her father donated, and then several other parts, like she lost her ear hearing. So like so many losses. And how did you do that? So she mentions that that question was posed to her 2 times in her life. First one was right after she lost her legs. That is the first picture on the left, if you can see, where after she lost her legs, and of course she is also emotionally impacted, physically of course impacted. And then when she got this, and she had dreams of traveling around the world, doing snowboarding and everything else, and she got these legs which was so clunky, so difficult to walk with. She lost all her hope, like, how am I going to do all which I wanted to do with these legs? Like I can't even move barely from one room to another. And because of that, she went into a state of depression. So she mentions that after that, for several months, maybe 3-4 months, this was her state. She'll just eat and sleep and eat and sleep. She was not looking forward to do anything at all. She just wanted to just escape. She just wanted to somehow, doesn't want to believe this existed, like it doesn't exist. So she was just on her bed all the time. And finally she says, when she was, one day she was sick and tired of being sick and tired, she finally asked that question: if I was author of the book of my life, how would I want my next chapter to go? And that's what started her quest. She started writing, imagining, this is what I would want the next chapter of my life to be. I would want to go snowboard again. I want to feel the wind against my face, and I want to travel around the world again. And then she started imagining, okay, that's what I want to be. Then how should I do that? And then there are several things she took from there, which opened up the doors for the exciting future that she had. So that was the first time she asked that question. And then the second time was after having achieved the gold medal in Olympics, after having achieved the runner-up position in dance competition, after several years in 2018 or 17, there was going to be a second Olympic that she was going to participate. That was in Korea, Sochi, or I forget where it was. And before that Olympic competition, she had gone to a country in Europe, maybe Greece, I believe, or Italy, where she was just participating, just trying to get ready for the Olympics later that year. And she had a very horrible day that day, where she was making a lot of mistakes, she was falling, and she was very behind. It was not a good day at all. It was a very bad day for her. And she was pretty exhausted and demoralized, and she came back to her hotel room from the competition event very late, maybe around 10, 11 o'clock. And she kind of was crushed. She was like, I mean, I already won the Olympic medal. I've already won the dance competition. Like, why am I going through this? Like, I don't need to go through all this physical trouble, all this pain, mental agony of, looking miserable in front of so many people. Like, I am done. Why am I doing this? I don't need to. I think I'm done. I will not go to the Olympics because it will be a very bad Olympics again. So I should not do. This is done. I'll move on and do something else in my life. So those thoughts were going on in her mind. At 11:30, then she got a call from the front desk reception of the hotel. And the reception said, somebody has come to meet you. And she was quite surprised. Like, this is a foreign country where she knows nobody. And it's 11:30. Who would want to meet me at 11:30? But she still went down to find out who it was. Then she saw a group of people who all were in the lobby, and there was a little girl who was also there along with them. That group of family looks like they got to know she had come to participate in this competition, and they were staying maybe 6 or 8 hours away from them. So they drove, all those members in multiple cars, they all drove 6-8 hours to reach that place. But they didn't know where she was living, obviously, in which hotel. So they went to every hotel in that city, it seems, to find out, where Amy was staying. And they finally came to this hotel very late. At least she found that they are here. And they all did because the little girl who all the families came together with was herself a double amputee. She also lost both her legs. And the little girl wanted to come and say thank you to Amy. She wanted to really say, she was so grateful for her. She wanted to thank her that because of you, I'm looking forward to live my life. Like, despite not having both the legs, you never allowed it to be a disability, and you went on to achieve everything you wanted to achieve. And now, because of you, I have an example to look up to, that yes, even I can achieve what I want to achieve in my life. So they all came just to say thank you to her. And then she got the answer, why she should do, why she should continue. So her response was, it's not what or how, both of them don't matter. It's why that matters. Once you find your why you're doing it, you will figure out what you need to do and how to do it. And that gave her the strength to continue. No, I am not living this life to achieve what I want to achieve. I want to live this life so that everyone can know, to inspire others so that they can continue to look forward to live a life despite their disabilities. They can still achieve, because I want to become an inspiration for others. So that was an important turning point in her life, to look forward to, continue to look forward to making progress. And that connects with what Vaish has also said. Questions are the answers. I think we are running a little late, so I'll skip this video, but he has always said, questions are the answers. The quality of the questions that you ask determines the quality of life that you'll have. And in Vedas to Atato Brahma Jigyasa, that's how it mentions, now that you have human life, inquire about your ultimate interest. What is the most beneficial thing I should do using this life? Because only humans have that capability to ask such higher level questions. And in Bhagavad Gita 7.3, it mentions, out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. So even those who are capable of asking questions, not everyone asks the most beneficial question and gives away the very valuable human life. So the quality of the questions that you ask determines the quality of life. And Amy got that opportunity 2 times. One was to realize her full potential in her life. Early time, when she lost her legs, she asked that question, how can I still utilize my life to reach full potential? And later in 2018, when she was sort of, I've reached my full potential, then why should I continue to do? That question came back again, and now she got the answer, no, I need to be an inspiration for others, and I need to live a life which becomes a service for others. So humans are born with budding consciousness, unlike other living species, as Vaish grades them into covered consciousness, like trees and plants who are conscious, but they are covered. They cannot, ask questions, react, things like that. Or I think for animals, he mentions, I forget the name, covered consciousness. But animals have slightly better consciousness. I forgot the name he used, but even then they don't ask the bigger questions. But humans have the capability to ask. They have budding consciousness, which means they have potential for growth, to ask questions. And those who ask the ultimate questions and embark on a spiritual journey have a blossoming consciousness. So I just wanted to maybe stop there on the questions which came, which Amy came across in her life. And I think everything changed depending on how she answered those questions in her life. So I just want to take any thoughts or questions or reflections, or what kind of questions did you ask in your life? I'm sure you all have gone through several challenges, and what kind of questions did you ask, and what answer did you respond to those questions that changed your life? If you can share something, please. You can type in your chat or unmute and share it. Live. Anything? Go ahead, Sanalita.
Hello, Jim. Thank you so much. That was very nice. That video was very helpful because I was just thinking about that just few minutes back. Generally, in any of these situations, I am what I'm taught to is think in a way that, like, just accept the situation. So I really wonder when people really fight for it. So I was thinking about it, that is that the mentality wrong? Because, like, accepting and then increasing your tolerance level or something like in that way, I think about my situation. This is a definitely very different and eye opening, that like how people fight for the fight and get it what they want. It's for me it was like totally different angle to look at the things. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That's a very important point you mentioned, that accepting the reality and not being denial is a very critical step to take. And that's what even Amy went through, right? Initial, the few months, she was in denial. She didn't want to accept, and she was just sleeping on a bed. So that was so critical that she had to overcome that phase. And finally, when she got sick and tired of denial, that finally she asked that question and changed her life. So yeah, thank you for the point.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other thoughts or questions or comments on the importance of why, asking the question why in your pursuits, or any reflections? No? Okay, so we'll continue with the reminder of a few more slides. Let me know if you can see the slide. Sure. So next is transformation by association. So first, so as soon as she was sick and tired of being sick and tired, and she started imagining what she wanted to do. She wanted to go and snowboard. Then she knew that the prosthetic legs she had was not going to help her. She needed more flexible legs. She started researching, trying to find out, called several companies to see if they can make such legs for her. And nobody was willing to come forward. So then she reached out, and with the help of another person who became her leg maker, she actually went ahead and made this leg, which is there in the screen, which was a bit more supple, which would allow her to snowboard. And once she was able to brainstorm and come and make this, and she does mention that this leg is actually kept in museum in the Washington, DC for everyone to see. And then she went ahead and actually used this leg to snowboard, and she was able to finally snowboard using these legs. So like that, when she wanted to pursue going forward, she started reaching out who might help her. And they also had similar goals in life, which is to help people who have disabilities. She was able to pair up with them and overcome the challenges which she went through. Likewise, even in our spiritual journey, when we have to transform ourselves, association plays a very critical role. And like how we all are now meeting and discussing these spiritual topics, that's how once we associate with people, we will come to know, we'll have knowledge about what is possible and what are do's and don'ts. And together we can encourage each other and make progress towards the goal or purpose we have found by asking the question why. So this is a short video which is available on Vaish channel. You can play. I do have a few more slides, so I just want to maybe continue going through them. But association is a very critical element in first giving the knowledge, and second giving us the practice and encouragement to continue to practice and progress in our spiritual life. So I'll skip that. And that's how Amy was able to let go of the old Amy, which she was holding on to in denial, and embrace the new Amy, which is, even though I don't have the legs, the kidney, the hearing, or at least one of the ear was not able to hear, she was still able to, she is still the Amy. She still had the same drive and desire she had. She was able to pursue that despite all the shortcomings she had. So what association does is it gives the knowledge about yourself and what you need to be able to pursue your goals. And that's what even wisdom literature tells us. They tell us knowledge about ourselves, who we are, and all the surroundings, and what do we need to do to make progress towards our ultimate beneficial goal. So as most all of you know, there are inferior energy, which are non-conscious, they are material in nature, and there is superior energy, which is conscious. So the inferior energy contains 5 elements: air, water, ether, fire, and earth. So these 5 elements compose of all the forms of life that you see. All the bodies are made of these 5 elements, which have 5 senses: eyes, ear, nose, mouth, touch, and excavating parts. So those 5 senses then interact with the worldly elements, and then they pass the information to our mind, and mind interprets and makes a decision. I like this, I don't like this, I like this, I don't like this. It continues to make that decision, and which in this picture, you can see these 5 horses. Each of them have potential to run wild in any direction, but then mind is the rein, which is controlling all these 5 senses, and mind is controlled by intelligence, which is the charioteer. So depending on how sharp your intelligence is, it will guide the mind to control or not control the senses. And we are the passenger on this chariot, which is the conscious living entity, or passenger, which experience the happiness and distress because of this journey, which is being enacted by all this inferior energy. And the another superior energy, so we are superior in nature, so we are conscious living entities, we are superior in nature, and we do have an original conscious source through which everything animate and inanimate in this world has emanated. So once you have that association, the knowledge about all these elements come about. And with that knowledge, then we can make progress and practices to achieve our goal. So as I mentioned, 5 elements, they're all temporary. It's very similar to, we have a festival of colors back in India called Holi. And when such a festival comes in, we generally look for the oldest dress we may have, which we are likely going to throw away. Or rather, if we have some dress we want to throw away, we may actually keep it because Holi is going to come. So I'll use this dress on that day and then throw it away, kind of. So we put up that old dress which we'll throw away on the day of Holi. Just it's a color, so we spray colors on each other, and at the end of it, then the dress is all colorful and can't be reused again. So then it's thrown in in dustbin. And so similarly, all the 5 elements, like the body itself, is temporary because the dress was temporary. So when we throw that dress or whatever dress you wore, clothes that you wore for Holi, you don't feel sad or distressed because you knew it is temporary, it's old. So you could get rid of it. Similarly, having the knowledge that this whole body is made of elements which is temporary in nature, it will eventually will have to leave, gives us a different perspective on when this body becomes old, slowly starts losing functions, and or it becomes diseased. If you have that perspective, it's happening to my body but not to me, we are able to continue to keep making progress on our goals. Same like Amy, she lost both her legs, she lost her kidney, but she didn't associate or identify herself as legs or kidney. So that's why she was able to continue with her journey. Next is the 5 senses we have, they need to be engaged. We can't control them by not doing anything, as some philosophy attempt to pursue. It's same like a small child. When we go out to some other friend or neighbor's home, we want the small child not to disturb the environment. So you want the child to keep quiet so that, whatever program going on is not disturbed. But that is not going to happen. Like the small 1 or 2 year old child, it's not going to keep quiet or not do anything. But if you give some toy or some way to engage the child so that she can play and be engaged happily, then it's not likely going to be making any disturbance to the environment. Similarly, all our five senses, we can't say don't see anything, because if you see, then you want it, and then you start wanting more and more, and then becomes stressful. So instead of trying to control and not do things, try to engage. Instead of not seeing, try to see, which is positive in nature, so that will bring more positivity. For example, maybe read, say, wisdom literature, or see videos which give positive message or wisdom message, etc. Same. So every sense can be engaged in positive spiritual activities as well. Oh, I just realized. I'll skim through this. So mind, again, all change comes from within. So if whatever, it's not, we don't see the world as it is, we see the world as our mind shows. So if we understand that, mind will keep feeding us different thoughts, but we need to use our intelligence to discriminate those thoughts and make sure we guide the mind to do the right thing. Is another important element. And for that, the intelligence has to be sharpened daily, like how we brush our teeth daily, because the teeth every day comes in contact with various food particles and things like that, and gets impacted. Similarly, our mind and intelligence, they come in contact with various elements in the material world, and they need to be brushed or sharpened on a daily basis as well, so that they can continue make right decision and keep making progress in spiritual life. And finally, we need to realize all this is inferior. We are conscious living individual, which, if connected to the original conscious source, can be happy. We just have 3 minutes left. I will quickly go to some of the ways to build resilience. One is to do mantra meditation, which is a medicine. It specifically cleanses all the material contamination, so that we can be relieved of this material stress and other things. Second is seek service. As we saw Amy herself, when she was kind of wanting to give up her pursuit, when she saw that I am actually serving others, inspiring others by living a life, that's what gave her the strength to continue to pursue, so that others can be inspired. So once you start pursuing service as your goal, then you get the strength to continue to move forward. So service is an important element for making spiritual progress. And Amy was asked, I think this Shubha brought up, what would you change in your life? Like, if at all she could change, what would you like to change in her life? And her answer was actually absolutely nothing. She said, I don't want to change a single thing in my life, if at all I ever relive my life, because I am what I am because of all the challenges which came in my life, and because I overcame them, I became what I am. Similarly, this world is meant for refinement, is meant for removing our impurities, and once we have that, then we are able to reach to our highest potential. So I'll skip this video too and just go to the summary. So recipe for resilience: find your purpose in life. Why? That's the most important thing. What do you want to achieve in this life? Find the association who are also pursuing the same goal or purpose. Do mantra meditation, read wisdom literature so you can keep your intelligence sharpened, and then do selfless love, is because that's how you, like spiritual literature mentions, the purpose of life is to love the supreme and all supreme's creations, and that can only be achieved, the love, through a loving exchange with others selflessly. Sorry for skimming through the last few slides, but I didn't want. We have a couple of minutes in case if there is any questions, thoughts, reflections. Please feel free to share them. Sarnagata, did you had your hands up, or was it from the last time?
Sorry, it was from the last time. Let me over it.
Yeah. Any thoughts, any reflections from some of the last few slides that we went through? Thanks, Charles. Thanks for being here on the session and sharing the wonderful thoughts and encouraging all of us by joining today. Any other last thoughts, questions, comments? Manu says thank you. Thank you, Manu.
Thank you, Jem. That was very positive and very thought-provoking session. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Sarnagatha. Thank you for that encouragement. Okay, if nothing, then I'm hoping next week Vaish will be back, and I'm sure he'll have lots of stories from Japan to share. So I'm eagerly looking forward to. So please do join. And as Vaish says, let's keep transcendental vibration going by signing off with a big Hari Bol. So if possible, please unmute yourself and just say Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Hari
Bol.
Hari Bol.
Thank you everyone for joining today.
Thank you.